So
All right.
yeah, so he's actually
Sorry, the
in
name. Sorry, what you say, man? Martin
Simwaba.
Simwab.
Simwaba.
Thank you.
Martin Simwaba.
Simwaba.
Okay. Thank you.
Bashima people ni ku Italy. You are based in Italy, isn't it? If I'm not mistaken, eh?
Yes, yes. We are in the capital city of the mafias, the real mafias.
Yo. Muleti pepera kofi okwa papa ko matu pepera ko muleti ko mapepo. Ichalo tachiwe meyo. You know, like if you watch under Mr. Robam talked about having talked to someone where they were talking about having 10, 12 vehicles at the mall, at the park mall. We only have one mall in Chingola called the Park Mall, which is just opposite the Chingola Central Police Station. You know, before 2021, Chingola economy ilingi ni mining industry. Economy ya Chingola mining industry.
Hello, already?
Yes, we are.
Yeah. Let me actually share the.
We are live, right?
Yes, we are. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So if you look at Chingola economy ya Chingola ni mining. Na abeni abalumendo abayiche besu ishimise pela ama small scale miners abetata amajeraboz ni nchito bashakwata elo babonfya common sense yakwe bati bale yamukutola filia fi if ma scavenging for copper filia baposa elo abene bambo kula tola, they pick from there, they scavenge from there. After doing that, they look for them for the market. Ngabashishabene tabale ibiro muntu iyo bale tola muchishala bachishala fili abaposa nomba ya bacha realize kwe bati awo aba ichabale pango lupia baisa mo bayingiramo okukwiselo baisa ba UPND ifintu fyonse fyali chinja. Everything has changed. Before that, to Ale Quarter, we've actually lost na friendship to akwete yali tobauka. Ama group to akwete yali tobauka. I remember at some point prior to the elections, during the campaigns of President Akainde Ichilema, baleba abantu kutila. Mwe misepela ama weekends yakula balit. The weekends will be lit. Today, you come in Chingola. There are no weekends. All those places they've closed down because they've got no money. No one is going to buy their if you want to say but people are broke. Ababa iche bajerabonga nga bayimba fya bale chitakale baya tola amaba baya shichakutu kuma Chinese ino nchitata fichitika bali besalila abene everybody was benefiting abene nga batola everyone was benefiting from the jerabos pama marketing nga baya aba tuma restaurant bale chita benefit muma marketing nga bayingira aba mabutiki elo futi nakaswa aba lumendo aba ichebeswa aba tabakwata iyo tabebila muntu. But today things have become so difficult. Tekwebati ifyo fintu takuli iyo ifyo fintu okofiri lelo mulandu wakwebati aba UPND they are very selfish. Bali batamfyamo firongoma bali shitishe firongoma bali poke firongoma babika mu abantu babi baleta mu ama Chinese bachitashani. So there is totally nothing that is happening in Chingola. Eno nomba mwa umfwa kuli iyo mule umfwa yo mumfwa senseli mine. Iyo senseli mine. Abantu balifuilako. That is very true. But again, an accident is an accident. We are not saying but you if you no after that accident, but president yabe ne kuonfya mashu yabo during everybody mu opposition balila ilo kwebati ifwe bonga twaisa tatwakamita nfe tukamipela equipment ya kubonfya pakwebati mukale bomba bwino mukale bomba na safety. So those are the things that were supposed to be done. But the question is, have those things been done? Nothing has been done. These boys have been chased, they've been running battles with the police. Ukweba fiati babombeko, babula masojo batwala mufirongoma. Ukweba tiaba abalumendo, bela bomba iyo. Echo muchingola na crime rate yali pamulu mulandu wakwebati abalumendo tabakweto kwa kuombera iyo. Nomba liyaba akateka baishire ubushiku bwa mailo. When the president came to Chingola, now yes, it was unfortunate that such a thing happened, but again, that should serve as the language coming direct from the young people of Chingola. And I was so disappointed today when the president came to Kitwe. Instead of the president, chipaire kwa president nomba he is the head of state. When something like that happens, the president should be able to call his team, sit down, find out what is really happening, what is the cause, what is the root cause. If bakateka bafiro kuchita pandu bakateka ngabatampa ukulatinya abantu ukulabomfya amashiwe achintinya ukulabomfya amashiwe ashiweme bala nishbale chimono kwebati bale tuma abantu babo kwebati balopoleni abo bantu abale chitashani nango ba opposition. But already there is a word going around that the people that did that are from the opposition. But we, the opposition, are saying, no, we don't even know what is happening. Those people that are doing that are the same young people who voted for the president. They've got no jobs that were promised to them. They've not been given the equipment to use in the dams. So that is the direct language, because even when the president was coming, they were shouting, sincerely, sincerely, sincerely. The other issue that is there, there is kwaliati yo ababantu bela ingira mu senseli mine pan senseli mine yali kwata bene bali safika pa baumfwa na bene baikala panshi ati baba pereshinga $4 million. I think you've heard of that. That $4 million ba president bafire baikala nomba baba rumendo batu abe batwala bapera $4 million nomba futi basearch tefi. There must be a problem somewhere. There must be a problem somewhere. The president should be able to find out what is it that is happening. Otherwise, he's not getting the right information. The right information is not getting to his ears. If chitika busheba liabe kele pali table. Yeah, abaleta preside over the $4 million. Ijaba bati lebala bapera pako bati bela ingra musenseli maini. Nibani abe kelepo. Already we have seen a lot of moves from these hungry UPND leaders. Aba muchingola. Bali yo ine $4 million ya mayuts. Barefu abariemu. They are already making moves. Iyo uyu mulumendo na bombo bushiku, there is that market that was built in Chingola. Iyo mulumendo uyu na bomba sana tuwala mpera bu free man of Chingola. We've seen all those things happening. tafiwembe mu Chingola. When we talk about the issues that are happening in Chingola, there is nothing good that is happening. And we are appealing and urging this government, the president and his government, to come and dialogue with these people. Listen to them. Let him come specifically for these people and say he wants to sit down with the Jerabos, the small scale miners. Let him listen to them. If the president has been coming to Chingola. Edio bale landa pali vendata mine kubwera kwa vendata mine. Bale isa mukumfa kuli ba pastor bamo. Bale isa mukumfa kuli ba pastor bamo. Bonfu ama concerns yo tuleleta vonde tulewesha ba vendata and the like. The same way the president was doing that. The same way the president can still come and say therefore we can nama small scale miners so that he can get the concerns of the young people. Otherwise, that's where we are sitting. Muchingola baroba mwe bonse the panelists na bonse abale tumfo kubale tumfira bonse. There is nothing that is happening in Chingola. These councillors, these the mayor, the leaders, all the leaders. Let me just say the leaders. All of them have become small scale miners. They've become jerabos. Bonse ba isangani ba jerabo. Eronga mwaisa. Uli onso wa isa. Asa pita ku Solwezi Road kwata aleya ku Solwezi Road yoko. Solwezi Road nomba mwalasanga mwa isura fya ma Chinese be kaba ali isuro tuma mine ya ma Chinese ilya nchende na pasukulu bali isura po mine pasukulu. There is a school called Rwankole bali bikapo mine mu Solwezi Road, and there is these Chinese nga twatila fweba opposition twatila mweba ntubushefi mulechita ifi mulechita imwe mweba ali mu leadership. These things that you are doing nishi mulechitirefi bushe. Are you even caring about our people abaleikala mulishi nchende pantu ayama mines tulela ndapo yalife munchende omwikala abantu pasukulu apa sambila abana. There is a Chinese nombo utambilo kubika nambo kubika chidamp. Abikirefe musebo 10 meters away from the road, the tarmac, just before the toll gate here, Kavindelo toll gate, Solwezi Road. There is nothing good that is happening. We are even asking ourselves questions to say, where is Zema? I've got no doubt that there is massive corruption happening in Chingola. Now, ndamwalolesha abantu besu ilyenchende yonsa ama Chinese bale bomberako ni farmland. Bushe disposal ya ama chemicals bale bomfya ilishan. At the end of the day, we are going to remain with nothing. Abantu besu tabaka kwato kwa kuikala, abantu besu tabaka kwato kwa kulima, abantu besu bala kwata amalwele aya pusana. Because when we talk about mining, I am coming from the mining background. I do understand what I'm talking about. Lelonga tuwayapa fitunshi tuwayapa pamirabasa tuwambo kusose finde sosa. They say yo pantu mo about opposition, you are jealous, you are mukwete jealous. We do not have any jealous. We don't feel any jealous. But what we care about the welfare of our people. That is all we care about. Lelo bale tumoloko bati yo mwalikwata jealous mwalibashani. We've been called names like myself Apande, and I think baroba mbali shiva. I've been threatened left, right, and center. I've got a lot of messages. I've opened cases ku police. I've got cases ku court where people have threatened to come and take my life, to feed me to the crocodiles because I'm speaking a lot. I'm speaking too much. Apana ngukwenda tatuenda iyo twenda fyaba afisama lelo kusosa kwenda tatu wakalike kusosa iyo. We'll continue speaking for the people of Chingola. We'll continue speaking for the people of Zambia, because If we are to die, we've got people that were there who died for this country, for us to enjoy this freedom that we have today. There are people who shed their blood for this freedom that we have today. But should we allow this freedom to go away, to slip away from our fingers, from our hands? No, we are not going to do that. We'll continue speaking. If we are to die, we are ready to die for this land, this mother Zambia. I think for now, if you ninga so sakofye mwe makombe yamfu.
That's so touching, very, very touching, because for me, Chingola is a very important town. My parents are in Chingola. My siblings are in Chingola. I have a small business in Chingola. You know, my nephews and my nieces all over Chingola, my cousins and a lot of relatives have grown up between Chingola and Chidawombwe. So when we saw those visuals yesterday, it was quite disturbing. We obviously can't endorse or support anything to do with violence. It is not what we believe. We don't believe in violence. We don't want to support any violence at all. But from what you have said, you kind of begin to understand why people would resort to some of those unfortunate, actions that people are taking, disrespecting the president, throwing stones. I'm not UPND. I have never been a fan of the UPND. I never voted for President Hakainde Hichilema, but I respect the office of the president. And seeing visuals of young people insulting and seeing, visuals of the president ducking for safety, I think that was very disturbing and heartbreaking. It was not good at all. Very disturbing.
No, it wasn't.
And no one can support it. And I personally, I condemn that so much. Yet when you look at the pretext and the context of this situation, you begin to understand why people would get to that point. And Robert, I want to bring you in because you had an interesting angle when you talked about, before we started the live stream, you talked about some individuals at BBC, I believe, who resigned because of a mistake that was done somewhere in the edit room. And comparing that, because I'm beginning to feel that right now we are lacking that moral, that sense of integrity in this nation. When you see something wrong like this, when people are complaining, your ministers are getting these opportunities that people have found for themselves to feed their families, to look after their communities. You grab that from them, and then they react in such an unfortunate manner. I would have expected that somebody would have resigned, either a minister or the president say, I think I've lost the mandate to lead. Why? Because the people have clearly rejected me. But in Zambia, they don't resign. Robert, what are your thoughts about that? And maybe just give us an example of what that means for you. You're muted.
Thank you so much, Justin. And Mr. Sumaba, listening to you, it's a very painful story of what's happening in Chingola, especially if you've got family there and friends, and you just want them to actually be able to do something. Because before we went live, we were just talking about what has happened to the big two bosses in BBC. They did a documentary, and then they changed a few things in Trump's President Trump's speech, and then when that was discovered, they just resigned on that basis, But then in Zambia, what is actually happening now is even the issue of Chingola, people should lose jobs for that because you cannot have a
I
yeah,
agree.
you cannot have a situation where people have been crying for a very long time, and so people reach a saturation point because one, there's that cyber law, people are not able to express their feelings and stuff. So sometimes people will react in a way that you don't expect. But what the president should be saying is the same way. If you remember when he was on that podium, he was saying, that same message should have carried on. Should have been saying, they are young and I need to speak to them. I need to find out exactly what's happening. And because they were saying Sensele, then you age the Minister of Mines and their local MPs there to get on the ground and organize a meeting with the people. The same thing he should have done with the marketeers. Instead of him going to address them like that, it should have been more of like a private consultation. And then the president, not when you start doing things like that and you throw in numbers on the podium, people only will think like you're just trying to sweeten things, like you're talking to kids. This is serious stuff because the people in Chingola, if they don't, if they don't do the mining projects that they've been doing, what is it that they're going to do? That's why I'm saying the crime rate has gone up because now people are forced to do
Exactly.
other things that they are not supposed to do. So I think we need to change how we do politics in our country. And if we're killing a town like Chingola, then which town is next? So and also the issue we're mentioning about that Chinese opening a mine near a school, that's a massive health hazard for those kids. So there's just something that is wrong with the way we are doing, and I think our policies are not putting Zambia first. Because everything you do is you have to do. It's like when you're a parent, when you go for work, you're not doing it for yourself. You're doing it for your kids. Sometimes you're tired, you don't want to go, but then you think, my kids need food or my kids need school shoes. So there's always something that pushes you. Even as politician, you're doing it for Zambians. You're not doing it for yourself. So it's and that's why I think if you see with this podcast, they say the gap, and it says governance, accountability, and prosperity. And what the government now needs to do is to take accountability of this situation and say, look, it could have been worse. Thank God the president is okay. It could have been worse. But instead of them looking for a counter reaction to try to be aggressive, is how do we make it better? That should be the message. So wow. I'll pass over to Father Don Oscar. I'm sure he's got something that you want to contribute on this.
Hello, good evening. I don't know whether I'm audible.
Yes, you are, sir.
Very much
All
audible.
right, thank you so much. Good evening, the Zambian people. Good evening, all those who are following us. And this is it's my pleasure to be part of this panel, The Gap, being it the first time that we are coming here together to put together our opinions, our various opinions and observations, and also some proposals. I think there will be many proposals that we would like to put forward. As you have seen, governance, accountability, and prosperity, there are stages. There can never be prosperity if there is no accountability in the way we are governing our country. So that I think there are three words which are linked to each other. So maybe in focusing on the second one, accountability, I'd like to give my opinion of what has transpired in Chingola. And the question is, how have we reached this extent? What when there are problems, we have to find out what is the cause. It's just like a disease. What is the cause of the disease, so that now I can go to the doctor and the doctor can prescribe me possible medicine that can help me. So what is the cause of this situation in Chingola? I've followed Chingola for a long time. Also because some of you, you know me, we used to be together with Munsha. Last Munsha on TV Okwetu. So last Munsha coming from Chingola. He comes from that place, and he has a good a team. He has his team, the young people who sings Chingola choir. Chingola choir, I don't know whatever he calls them. So I have known about Chingola. I've followed very clearly, very carefully what transpires in that place and the sufferings of the people in Chingola, which I think they might be not very different from what the people in Busakile are going through. Busakile, a mining area, Chamboli, mining area, Kantanshi, Mindolo, mining area. So I think these towns are facing more or less the same problem. Why do I put also Chamboli, Busakile in the case of Chingola? It's because you remember the question of the Black Mountain in Kitwe. So the Black Mountain has had to do with the expectations of the Busakile Chamboli people. Expectations of the Busakile Chamboli people who are very, very much enthusiastic when they heard that the president was going to open the doors and give these young people the possibility to go and do some small businesses and make their own money. I remember very well those words when he said, Wayufi, I'm not going to call you Jelabos or Jelabos, but you are going to be called now small scale miners, and you will be given the basic preparations, possibility to prepare yourselves. I remember some of those times they really did some small job. They were given some uniforms, and the expectations were very, very high in Kitwe, just as the expectations were very high in Chingola. I think, as one of my colleagues here, you have mentioned, what transpired in Chingola, of course, is supposed to be condemned, because when you put a president in danger, it is the country which goes in danger. You know, it does not affect only a party or the government in power. It affects each and every one. We are all linked as Zambians, even if some of us, maybe we do not belong to a specific political party, but we still remain a Zambian. And the suffering of politicians is my suffering. The suffering, the successes of our politicians is my success. When we are supposed to condemn, we do condemn. Am I freezing? Is the lines freezing? Well, hello.
I can hear you. I can hear you, Donoska. I can hear you.
Hello.
I can hear you myself. I don't know about.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Okay, now I think it is back. It was freezing. The line.
Yeah.
Now I think it's back. So the successes of our politicians is our success. The failures of our politicians is our failure. Now, my opinion. I give you my opinion on what transpired in Chingola. There has been discussions, complaints, which the young people in Chingola has directed to the Minister of Mines. Some of them, they have directed their frustrations to the Copper Belt Minister, Honorable Matambo. Some of them, they have even spoken, they have tried to speak directly so that the president can listen to them. I am as far as this place, but I've listened with my ears to the complaints of the many people through social media as well, but also through the people that I know. I have my friends in Chingola. We have gone to school, some of them together, so we discuss, and that is first-hand information. So the question is the high level of unemployment that is supposed to be underlined. The high levels of unemployment. So if Chingola has been surviving maybe through the mining, the young people, they thought President Hakainde Hichilema's promises to them to now obtain small-scale licenses, that was going to solve this problem of unemployment. Now this is 4 years down. We have entered even the last year of this tenure of office of President Hakainde Hichilema and the new dawn government. So, you know, if I was a young man, 4 years passes by, and then my leaders come back to me and say, give us trust, give us hope, we are going to change your lives again. You see, it's natural. You become nervous. You have been expecting for a long time, and you become nervous. What we saw in those young people is nervousness, frustration. From the psychological point of view, we call that frustration. When somebody is frustrated, their actions or reactions are not very stable. They can react in the way they feel like. And so I personally, I sat down, I was so silent. I observed what was happening yesterday, and I was asking myself questions. So we had, of course, the president saying, stop, leave the boys, let them go ahead. And I thought the president was very correct, and he understood that the young people were expressing their frustration. So he said, he mentioned this word, I could listen it. No, leave those boys. Those boys, don't chase them away. So I said, well, good. That's a good move. That's a good move. And then today I heard something different. It's very difficult to understand. And how I hope and I wish President Hakainde Hichilema does not pinpoint or single point some of these young people. Your Excellency, it's the frustration which is just too deep in the people of Chingola. It's too deep. If I was going to give an advice, I would say, I think something was supposed to be done to the provincial minister in the Copper Belt, to the Minister of Mines. Maybe has not communicated to you the difficulties, because had he communicated to you, Your Excellency, the difficulties, there should have been some statements to the young people. But there has never been statements, clear statements. There has never been limpid engagement with the youth there. Not only with the youth, now we had this horrible experience of somebody arsoning the market. Terrible experience. I thought that this was going to be the old stuff in before the 2021 elections, and I thought that the government maybe might have already put in all public markets a fire brigade station. I thought it was going to be like this myself. I could not imagine a fire consuming the whole big market completely. So there are a lot of things that they could have done. I think some loopholes were there, here and there. And if the government is open, we can even discuss, we suggest to them. But I am scared, I'm afraid it might be too late. I don't know how the government is going to solve this situation. They could have engaged the young people. They are Zambians. They are facing a lot of challenges. They were promised. It's not their fault. They were promised. We hope the government is going to listen to them and not to victimize not even a single one. Even those who tried to throw stones. It's a horrible experience, but if they can undergo what we call rehabilitation, rehab for the young people. Thank you so much for now.
Bella. Come in, Bella, because I know that you're in the copper belt. Lots of interests there. Are you there, Bella? Bella, come in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just give me 2 minutes.
Okay. Okay.
So, Trust, I just want to ask a question to Father Don Oscar. He says, with what's happening in Chingola, what other option did the young people have if the president and his ministers were not listening to them? Is that a symptom of not paying attention of what's happening in the ground, and then people now they've taken everything into their own hands?
Yes, good question. Options. That's a very good question. What were the options? Being not the first time, we have listened to these people. They have even complained to their area member of parliament. You are not speaking on our behalf. We can't hear you presenting us. I give an example, like Kangombe goes there and speaks on behalf of the Kamfinta constituency, like Binwa Mpundu, some of those young people who really are so vocal in parliament. They'll go there and they'll say the people of Unkana constituency are asking this. Madam Speaker, I'm speaking on behalf of the people of Unkana constituency. I come back to the Unkana constituency. Bino Mpudu have spoken about the Black Mountain, and he has spoken about how now this thing has been consumed and the people have not seen the benefits. Those who were promised, those were asked to form cooperatives. I remember very well that time, some women groups from Riverside, Parklands, from Chimwemwe, some people from Nkana East, Nkana West, Busakile Chamboli, Mulenga, Luangwa compound, Miseshi Deke compound. They were forming cooperatives because in the Nkana constituency, they told them there was a very high opportunity that you, the youths, as long as you form a cooperative, you are going to be empowered. So it's the same thing which has happened in Chingola. Now the question is, were there options? If these young people are going to be engaged, as we are engaging each other here on this platform, I am sure, Sir Robam, I'm sure they will give detailed reports when they asked the minister of Kankoyo there. I don't know if it's Kankoyo or whether it is Chingola. Yeah, Chingola. They are minister in Chingola. They have engaged them. The Jerabos have even gone on platform. They have gone on their TikTok. They have gone on their TikTok shows where they have expressed, we are waiting, we are knocking on the door. Can you call us? Can you engage us? listen to us. These young people, they have, I am here, I'm not in the government, but I've listened to some of them calling. Can you engage us? You promised us. I am sure, Robin, these young people, they have their testimony, and they have they can trace clearly how they have engaged the member of parliament, the minister of mines, and also they have spoken to the copper belt minister. I'm sure they have this. So the possibility, of course, it was supposed to be there, but this is what we call the last resort. The last resort. They tried many things. Maybe they just took advantage that the president was coming. He was not coming for the mining crisis, actually. He came for the market, or the disaster, the burning of the market. He came for that message. So they took advantage of the president's presence in Chingola regarding the market destroyed, and they now started chanting. Everyone will listen. Instead of talking about the market which was burnt, the loud voice in that crowd was this: can you give us back Kasensele? Give us Kasensele, give us. So you are going to ask me a question. Why were they chanting Kasensele when the president came for the market? Yeah, this speaks louder. If I was going to advise the government, I would have advised them, look, the young people have been speaking. They just took advantage of the president's presence in Chingola to say, we have been waiting, Your Excellency. When they were shouting, give us back Kasensele, give us back, some engagement for them that they were going to be given the opportunity was done even before, but that was not fulfilled. And so they entered into a program and took advantage of that program, how the government was going to solve the problem of the market. And they shouted very loudly and clear that Kasensele gold mine, or the Kasensele mine, was going to be a solution. If these people were working, the same miners, they could have solved the crisis of the market. The same miners, Robin, they could have used their resources, they would have put together their resources, and they could have solved the crisis of the mine. So I think they have spoken. If we can just engage them as brothers and sisters, as compatriots, these young people can tell us how we can wish one day we can just call out to Pingola to say, can any Jerabo come here and tell us his story? I'm sure they could have told us the story. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I think, Mr. Rob, I need to chip in. I just want to say something out of what the fathers has spoken. Yeah. The father, you've spoken so well. You've spoken so well, and what you've said is exactly what is on the ground here. You know, I'm going to mention something here. There is a lot of confusion amongst the UPND leaders in Chingola. You know, if you remember, I think that was it was all over social media, where Commerce Minister, who is also the Member of Parliament for Chingola constituency, he did hand over that Senseli mine to the small scale miners, to the Jerabos, and there was celebration in Chingola, and they were happy, and we were all very happy that now these problems that we are facing in Chingola are coming to an end. Now, guess what happened? Even before the day could even end, the mines minister announced to say Senseli mine has not been given to anybody. I am the mines minister who was to give such a thing. So that created confusion. These young people started running battles with the police because that is confusion. There is lack of communication amongst themselves, these UPND leaders. So we, the people from outside, are beginning to ask questions to say, but what is it that is happening in that house in UPND? And what the father said is like he's here, he lives here in Chingola. Abaiche, they've got nothing to do. The leadership, like I said earlier, the only thing they are doing is to threaten these young people. These young people have never seen these Jerabos, these small-scale miners, behave so orderly the way they've behaved themselves. Ugisafka na Paishtaya yesterday. They've been so patient because it's like the father said, they've been yearning for the engagements, to sit down with the people, with the leaders, and say, this is the way we should take. These are the things that we should do. And all these problems, believe you me, yesterday's incident was not going to be there. Now, the coming of the president was an opportunity, because umuntu wonsalanaka, these young people are fed up, because it's like anybody who speaks to them, it is short-lived. Nothing has ever materialized. Nothing has ever. Soldiers can't get on the ground. Just a great individual effort there by Singletary. Take a look. Yeah. Should have been on fourth down and a punt, but instead you went through. Thank you so much. Yeah, so it was an opportunity when they saw the president. It was an opportunity for them to speak, to air, or to vent their grievance, to air the grievance to the president. But the way they did it, it was not good. It was unfortunate, but it was the language. It has the president shouldn't be, like I said earlier, there is no need to start threatening these young people. The proper way to do this, the best way to handle such a matter is dialogue. The president should give these young people an ear, rather than president kukitwe to say no, what no, it shouldn't be like that. I think what the father said, that is the correct way to do things. And believe you me, there will be peace in Chingola. The other thing we should also be looking, we've got the issue of power, which is also a concern, because these young people, they do not have jobs. And when they are chased from those dams, they are looking at alternatives. Some of them want to open the barber shops. Some of them, they want to start doing the welding. Some of them want to open the car washes. But how are they going to do that? There is no power. As I'm speaking right with you, there is no power here. I'm fortunate I've got solar. But how many people can manage to buy solar? So all those are issues. Let's talk about the mining company that we've got, the biggest mining company that we've got in Chingola, which is KCM. In KCM is, we've only remained with the name called KCM. There is no KCM. There is totally no KCM. As I'm speaking to you now, right now, these workers, because they are scared. They don't know what is going to happen to them tomorrow. There is the outsourcing program that has come. So there is totally nothing. These are. I am a contractor myself. But if I tell you that I've never had a job for 4 years, you'll be shocked. Why? Because there is nothing happening. Totally nothing. So all those are issues that needs to be to be handled. I think those are some of the few words that I wanted to add.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
I don't know. Can you hear me? I thought maybe. Are you able to hear me? Okay,
Yes.
great. I think at some point, Bella, Bella wasn't ready, but I think maybe she's ready now. And we had Chichi come in as well, Gladiator, but she's dropped off again. I think it's an issue
It's an issue with the
of
laptop. Yeah.
internet. Yeah. So, but Bella, maybe you can come in. But before, as you're preparing to come in, let me just play this video. And yeah. I want to play this video. Okay, but I cannot play a video. Okay, so when you're talking about electricity, as you can see me, I'm in the dark. You have to do mathematics, and I think the world needs to know. The electricity situation in Zambia is a crisis. We are beyond a crisis. And how we have not allowed ourselves to understand this is beyond me, because this, what we have in this country, is a crisis. The electricity issue is a huge crisis. And I've seen butcheries close down because they began spending more on diesel to try and keep their fridges and their cold room, at the right temperature. They'll spend more on that diesel than the money that they'll, the profit of the day. Imagine you sell meats for 1,500 kwacha, and your profit in that 1,500 kwacha is 500 kwacha, but you buy diesel for 600 kwacha that day. It wasn't making sense for people. The issue of electricity is a crisis,
So,
and when people say,
trust, it's not just a crisis; it's a chronic crisis. It is a chronic
yes,
crisis.
and because it keeps going on and on, it keeps going and on and on, and we can't have that anymore. And this is a conversation we need to have. People are dying in hospitals because operations. I saw a video. As we go on this podcast, some of these videos we'll be able to play them. Today we may not be able to play a lot of videos, but there are plenty of videos to share. There's a particular video which we saw where an operation is taking place in a hospital, and they're using phones for lighting because there's no power at the hospital. How hard is it for government to install some solar at every hospital? Where are the policymakers? It blows my mind how some of these problems are not solved at all. Yes, we can understand there wasn't enough water, there was a drought, but I thought somebody said at some point that solving the problem of load shedding is just sense. And he was giving an example of Dubai and said, in Dubai, it doesn't rain. It doesn't rain in Dubai, but sense. So where has been that sense for the last 4 years? Where has been that sense? Now, I know some of you colleagues on this platform may not be PF like me, but I'm sure me and my brother Martin are PF. And I have to jump to our defense as a patriotic front and be able to say, look, when the former president was in charge, may so rest in peace, Dr. Edgar Chagwalungu. From 2015 to 2021, we had 2 to 3 major droughts in that period. We had COVID for 2 years, where economies of the world shut down. Someone has been on media saying, oh, we found the economy in negatives. Yes, because there was COVID. Not even America or China or England or Italy, where Father Mpombo comes from, where Father Mpombo is right now. They were not in positives. So why do you want to blame the negative performance of the economy during COVID on a regime that did so well to hold things together? We should have been at -8, -10 in recession. But you found the economy at -2 because of a drought and because of COVID. The Patriotic Front found electricity generation at about 1,000 megawatts, about between 1,000 and 1,500 megawatts, doubled it to 3,200 plus megawatts. That's how much we produce.
Exactly.
But today, what we are seeing is a situation where a minister would go in front of media and say, at least you'll be having 3 hours of electricity every day, clap for me.
Clap for me.
Clap for me.
During the Patriotic Front era,
That was
during the
mockery.
Patriotic,
That was mockery.
that was mockery.
That was
That was mockery.
Mm.
During the Patriotic Front era, we used to have load shedding once or twice a week, between 3 to 4, 5, 6 hours each time you had that load shedding. Once or twice. It was never throughout the week. And we were insulted as a Patriotic Front. We were called that we don't have sense, that we had run down the country, and so on and so forth. Today, last week, Robert, you remember this past week, where I'm staying here in Lusaka, we had no power for 4 days. 4 days. 4 straight days. That's the situation. It's unfortunate. And when you begin to see people respond and react the way that they did in Chingola, like I said, like we are all saying, we don't support violence at all. We condemn it, strongest terms possible. But only a fool would leave a crisis like that without learning a thing. So I'm expecting that our wise president has learned something. The things people are faced with in this country, in Chingola, where I come from, people can speak like that. They will talk. In here, in Lusaka and other places, they may be, but in Chingola, they gave you a hint of what the country is thinking. Because in other parts of the country, people might be quiet. And when Zambians get quiet, you know that now all right? And that's the truth. But in Chingola, they will hint that and that wasn't serious. If there was a full-blown riot, like the police is trying to report it, it wasn't a full-blown riot. It was some unruly people were frustrated and they were airing their views like that. They threw a stone or two, and that was it. If security was serious, they wouldn't have apprehended. Probably by now they have. It wasn't a full-blown riot like people went amok. No. We saw the videos. We saw the videos that on the internet. Once the police is reporting that, we don't know who bent that police vehicle. I condemn it, but I still don't know because there's no video that has shown that a civilian bent that police vehicle. That those things that were being reported as damaged, we don't know. Zambia na politicians especially that we saw the president just go to Tanzania and overlook the pain of those families that lost those 700 people who died in that election. He overlooks their pain and he claps for the woman who's creating herself into a dictator. I'm thinking I can't just believe what the police are saying. I need a witness. Someone else alande kwa chawe twalimona bantu kibawochere. I would like Hearing it from the state, I'm sorry, the UPND government must know that we don't trust you. We do not trust. If you think we believe what you say, if you think that when you come to the media, you say, oh, this and that, if you think we believe you, I think the one who's going to be laughed at is you because we don't believe you. The crisis in this nation, you know, no, you've deprived people on the copper belt, those young people. I've got a nephew who lives off those things. Okay, they're dangerous life they live, but the work they make a life out of it. And then the crisis like in Mufumbo, what we saw a few weeks ago in Mufumbo, where people were killed, 20, 30, 40, 50 people killed at the two. But it's not about two mulepen and Bagapoka Sireka. No civilians, you know, and do you think when the UPND government colleagues, they think that when they tell us those lies, they think we believe the main problem about what happens. And so they go on in the web of lies, and we are watching them. They forget that Mozambique was like that people get videos and evidence, and people are putting them on video to record. Yeah.
So trust.
Bella here.
Bella. I don't know. Bella, are you back? I think she said network is really bad. Are you back, Bella?
I think she dropped off a little bit.
Maybe she's back. Maybe the
she's back there. Bella, please come in. Come in, Bella. You're on mute, so you want to unmute.
If you stay in planet Mars, Bella, you should come on planet Earth, please.
So as we wait for Bella to come through, and this is when Washibaba was saying, the Jerabos, where they make money, that money does not go through a lot of people to get to the ground or to get to the local economy. It goes pretty quickly in the economy. So you're able to see what is done with Tumbo, business you're picking, my barber shop, everything, because people have money. So if you look at this big scale, like large scale miners, and for that money to come in, it takes a long time. In Ghana, you're not going to believe the small scale miners in Ghana, in the gold sector, from January 2025 to October, from January, let me just get this right. From January and mid-October, can you guess how much the small-scale miners, how much they contributed to the economy, the local economy? $8 billion. $8 billion.
That's huge.
That's huge, because whichever economy that is doing well, you need to respect the small-scale businesses, because they are the largest employers, and also they are the ones that make sure that the money trickles down pretty quickly from one person to the other. The money never comes back in. And the more we invest in these, we trust the small-scale miners to do the local mining that is needed there. The government will even be in a better position, because you have no pressure from people to say we need jobs, because they can still work. So I think what's actually happening is we need to find a way, like what's happened in Ghana. If it's worked and they've contributed 5 billion, how much are we struggling to negotiate with IMF? 1.5 billion. So if our Jerabos were able to do the job freely and also contribute to the economy, and they're able to raise 5 billion, you sort out all the debts you're trying to negotiate with IMF. So it's working in other countries if people have respect and they trust other people's skills. Just using the word.
Let me just interject on that one, Rob. I'm sorry.
Yes, no problem.
Right. Okay. I think we came in, God allowed us to come to Europe, and we thank our parents. We bless also the church. I'm grateful to the church. I'm grateful to my parents for having studied a lot in my studies. And here I am, very much exposed to the Western world. I've gone to all the continents apart from which is this? Apart from, well, some parts of China only, but I've gone around the whole world. So I thank God for that. Now, Padiwa Jerabo, I have this word. This is the word that we also suggested to President Hakainde Chilema when there was a change in 2021. The many things that were beautiful when he was speaking, but then we have just discovered that probably the narrative was not very near to the reality. Now, I want to say the Jarabos. In 2021, I was asked a question. What do you suggest to the government? And this was my suggestion. Nalanda mchivem. Italeni China Bank. Mungu for win. Isaleni Bank of China. Isaleni mubebe akibale banking ba China wale banking on Bank of Zambia. Nango wale banking munankane Barclays Bank ama bank saya Zambia. I'm a businessman. I'm China. If you're mining, Impia Bela Vikamu Bank of China. Isalen. I knew what I was talking about. I'm a details. If not that, Naranda Mchivemba. Ababan to the Modimo. Namushba, they are very keen. Pafiao, if you're Ndalama, but they were very keen. So now there was a reason why I mentioned that, and I'm mentioning here for the first time on this podcast. And I suppose it will be a very beautiful podcast as time goes by. So to have that is suddenly Bank of China. How a number? It's not easy, not yes, but you are asking me a question. How do we do it so that there could be accountability and we can understand if you end up with mamchalo cheso or clear kunse achar. Pantu nifa kunoko tuwa kuno ine. Ngana atuma ku Zambia 100 euros. Wala ishiba tinatuma lelo 100 euros. Ngana pushamo na pula mongo munu wapakati wala isa wakapokola wa finance police banganda. Wala sanji chati. Impia oletu makunse olefu nyakwisi. Now, if you're tafitika muchalo cheso, and the worst part of it is eba kwetama companies aya kwatenda la masana muzambi nyaba bene abanenso wa China. So apopo tule ya kuntanshi baroba mu wa trust na bonsa wa platform up. Ama topics mukala tupela kwa kuntanshi. I think to refer to suggest who is going to be the president, the president in 2026. Akan byokula tumpako bambi. Omwene twase ulukomu. Alafingi twatolamu. Edi waba nesu. Awaba nesu aba. Takwa abatu kwa kana. Na nkama idatulanda tinkama takwa wakulanshanya. Tawaka kwewepo nkama yao. Tawaranda. Ifo besa fie. Bape kanyafida fine. Mama Nufubale Mbapa. So where's the residential houses? Now the Chinese process plants. So Ichalo. Barobam, bonse mwe pa platform hapa. Na nani kane na my brother na sa lembeshi hapa na ala bafuti. Ninkota na kota. So ba Martin ba Martin simwaba ba Martin simwaba ifwe tifichinje fintu muchalo tafyaka chinje ngatatuishive akandala makarefu mapako mopani mind konkola kopa mind kusolwezi kulia kasensele indalama ngatatuishive oko shileya takuli oko tuleya nangu tukachinje government mu 2026 as long as indalama shinefe cash tatuishive fepo shileya takuli efika chinja naombecho tulelanda kuchakwe bati na ifofu inekoso esasambira kuno twalisambira pofu bachita bene ofu bachita protect indalama sha chalo. That's why bana bajela boy ni shakula betatu twalikana na mu 2021 mwila betatu bajela bo baiche balia they are hard working abaiche tabaya kusukuru limbi but they are hard working ni bali abembe mipolo bali abaiche balia we need them muchalo. So now if we need those people abembe mipolo this is what we are saying. Okay, tatuakula betatu bajela bo twakula betatu small scale miners ifa to atota no tota twale mwana kwachi indifintu fyala bomba nomba abona lelo mwesa ngatakuli solution ati badani wa opposition imwe ifi tefo chabe chalo tefyo chaba mwefengeresha omuntu walira onsati niwe wa opposition naine wine ifisonga na landa pailo mwaita mfuachi nine wa opposition awe ndi mwina Zambia fye apo efintu tafire enda wino twabano okulanshanya bakateka bakainde suminisheni pakwe bati pantu umweo wa muntu waba mukutwi umweo wa muntu waba mukutwi bakainde. Listen to the people. Listen na kuli wala bene ba neba badaba ponda balaba baneba balewa classic neba badaba ponta sana. Classic neba wala bene balanda tinga mwaipika chikanda basala that ai fatu ipike nondo panganda pameso. Wala baneba bakoba timwenga mwasashire fishashi basala that ha mwe fatu acha mukushita chicken shawama. Be bomfweni listen to baneba Milo, you know what to do. Na alisala ndano kulanda na cyber. One day we'll talk about cyber. Isale ni na cyber security. So you listen from the people ngabai lishanya. Pantu ichikali pachumfo mwine. Umucheri okufina. Ba umfa kuhusendele. Teti mumfuire omuntu ufuma fyoko mpulwa iyo ifichitike kukitwe nifi omuchele okufina baumfa kuhusendele kabieni bureni balabene abayicheseni kuno twikali hapa bamayo mwe barushefe iseni twikali hapa aleni nomba kateka alefo kumfa amuchitefi ngatakwa chitike nangu kupire fyongo abantu abantu abayiche bafuma kumayanda y'abantu. Our people, they are not criminals. Our young people, they just don't have employment. A criminal is somebody that the police arrests, prosecutes, and finds guilty. That one is a criminal. Otherwise, won't say mwewa sambidira malo inete ineloe. Mwewa sambidira malo na mama judge mulanda ti. Each citizen, every citizen is innocent until proven guilty. Timatina shanya tuyo fila fipondo na mwene tia kwele kupimu fipondo until you prove them guilty. Elio nomba nangu chipondo nga chafumati chipondo chafumati kuri wa opposition awe batata bakainde teshen kukutu ba opposition tefi pondo filafini mwali mu opposition batata bakayinde tamwali ekipondo mwali abantungwa neryo bamitwere mukiri ekyamirandu namulya mwine mulya muka mukimbokayira bayishero lishoko bati kushe batata bakayinde chilwani nangu muntungwa bayisa mifunya cyali awe ali muntungwa echiname chitwita ati rule of law bane thank you very much bane kwenda ichi chintu ifwe tien tupoke ichalo chiwe mukati chabe na Zambia bajera bo bakwatenda lama abakuchamboli bakwatenda lama abakwamulenga bakwatenda lama ero mu Chinese akese ingire nchitopa wa kwamulengo mwina Zambia na lawe kizapo echi choko twaba ine kuno abakalamba abo tuya moko kufya finances my Italians tete bampele nsambu mu Italine ukuchita manage ku bank chakwate nsambu ku post office takwabo mu Chinese takwabo mu African kwa babene bachalo pantu nindalama ne dama si Christian dalama techuyo yabike mu minwe wa mukulu watu lwafye icho tulera ndako na ifwe tuila tukabana besu bajera kwati fipondo awe baiche besu uyo spark tu ati spark shani mumuita ati spark tu ngani spark one ngani spark nchi uyo spark ala fye bwino no kuchinda mali chindama no kuafa abantu no kuafa amakliniki no kuafa hospital nijera bo nomba mwina Zambia apa chindama na abantu bamupera omuchinshi bamwita na baspark mwemfumu iseni kono twafweniko evyo tulefu abalabe ngabayiche kuchingola baliya mailo tulefu abala bakakwatenda lama omukubole sa tupela feta wafuma kuri ba MMD kuri ba UNIP kuri ba PF kuri ba UPND omukuba uli na god te yaba UPND yakwalesa nomba chinsho twalalandira iyo ikata kumukuba wabana iyo sign mining eba rice iyo bantu ifeta za kwa license inene muntu ne mukote panondi license ya god inshakwata chishita mwampela po license ya god ati yo pantu kupela bani ifwe fwe basambidya nga fitu pamulefu amasambidyo twalalanga twalikwata nomba tafikwete manu efyo tafikwete uyo efyo icho twingalanda muchako bafyati chinshu wa kubusakire uwa ku Riverside teta kwate gold mining license.
Exactly.
People happen.
But Bella, seems that you are here now. You have not spoken.
Yes.
And we have been here for over going to 2 hours now. Your sentiments. You are from that area where we had that incident. And so maybe if we could do this and just let people appreciate what happened.
Natumfwane mkwai Luis kuliamba bwe Natumfwane mkwai Luis kuliamba bwe
Bella, your take.
Yeah. First of all, I'd like to thank you for the privilege of being on this platform. And again, it's a brilliant way, the idea of governance accountability, and prosperity is one that is not foreign. However, we need to do better. The idea of having a platform that'll engage everybody, that'll be willing to listen, to be willing to understand one another, is a culture that has always been with us as Zambians, and it must be restored at all costs, and the sooner the better. I'm speaking as a mother. Okay, we thank God for everybody who has spoken. But why do I say this? I'm speaking as a mother and a daughter. I'm speaking as a child of Zambia, a daughter of Zambia, one who has had the privilege of having grown up in a home where the majority of the infrastructure in KCM, ZCCM and Kana, Luancha, Roan, and so on and so forth were built literally through our home. And the reason I mention that today is because Toale Kula Abakuishtiba, I'm a system. If you are Shifu Bachla Tueva, Bafadha Nabalondolola Buino Sana, Ngachakwe bati twachikwata nshita, ndemonanga twachibike stope. My heart's desire, my burning desire, has always been, having lived a privileged life, traveled overseas, traveled the world, seen the implementation of certain systems. My desire is to see them in Zambia. It is not that we are unable, but oftentimes it is that we are unwilling, one, as citizenry, to participate, two, as leadership, to do the right thing. Why do I say this? Me, no matter how long I live overseas, I will never possess that land. And the reason is simple. It is because they have policies, systems in place that prioritize the citizenry. Now, in hindsight, they say hindsight is always 50-50. You realize that the president was misinformed, was not adequately guided, because if Mayo, contrary to the statements that Banalumango made to say, nangu muka tufunyepo, still mwabene Zambia bakala chula fie. Who would like that? Secondly, there was a huge presumption made that when the president was addressing the marketeers situation, that was the underlying issue. However, I will say it again. People on the Copper Belt have grown up in the Copper Belt knowing the affairs of the mining industry like the back of their hands. So it needs no explanation. It is not a issue that is foreign in most households. And so when the president went to address the marketeers, in the eyes of the advisors and the leadership, that was the only issue. However, let me take us back a little bit. Batupin bakula baleo mfokwe bati ba ichilema ebachitile shani ebaletele privatization ebashtishe KCM nokuletovwa ubwafya. When the UPND government came into power, there was an adoption of the idea that he would come with him a level of experience and technological advancement that would be implemented. Like he said, he would bring a caliber of experts. Okay? And true to form, most of us voted UPND, not that we are UPND, but that we believed the vision that was sold. Hear me now. There were specific promises that were made. Now you will agree with me, Father Oscar, you will testify to this. In the foreign nations, especially the British government, there is a higher standard, a higher level of accountability that is demanded, such that even when people assume leadership, they are fully aware of the commitments they made. Now, when you say, I will make sure you are recognized, licensed, and trained. Recognized, licensed, and trained. Ine, nka making sure kwebathi bakamishibe, ngabakabomba, abakwata, ama-skills, ayayibela, ayakutasana, ayaku-mininga. There are institutions that have been given specifically for the training of miners on the Copperbelt for years, decades. Those institutions are there, Amasili courses. There has always been a government engagement of these small-scale miners. We are sitting poised right underneath DRC Congo, where we can see specific models of local shareholding structures in local companies, investment models that are working. So when you make promises after having failed a specific community, communities that relied on mining, who have grown up with the narrative that vakainde evashitishe migodi vachita privatize, vakainde aveneveka vaima ine nka making sure mukachindama. He made those promises. Unfortunately, those promises were made to a very young population, Gen Z. Abana ababemba bathila nangombe afuila babana ifwe bana mayo nangu ni munganda wishina ngwemi nyomwana shani, we protect. I am not condoning violence, but understand this and hear me very well. Younger people whose minds are not yet formed, even by law, are not subject to certain punishments. Why? The law takes into account the mental state and the capacity of any human being. Abekala chalo abana ngakwariba abafuilo kuchingirirwa bana. This is why I will keep singing about reforms, about systems being changed. I grew up in systems that worked and served the people in Zambia. Our household was not a household that was born out of cadarism. It was born out of people whose hearts burned for this country. People whose passion was to empower those with little to become better and much. So when you take away this thing, when you destroy opportunities, when you fail to exchange opportunities within a system, it becomes a sitting time bomb. If you're going to take away something bringing in money, bring something that brings more money. So to destroy the minds and come up with a narrative for the rest of the country, maybe somebody in Southern Province may actually believe and buy into the explanation. But for somebody literally sitting next to that asset, because nabadi abene mupele bakupita padi ya panchende okuyasenda fityefipe bakalaba mona umukulu walamwe batikala tondolo ngata waikale tondolo twalaku vika muchifungo ala tina nakwata omukashi nakwata abana umwana tawamutinye umwana nangukanya ngakamba okulila keshibe fyatsa alefu evele taleke ngakulako panono aledidilechi mupele nangu nalufyanya mwala ufuate awe mupele fye nishi mwana. I love the response of the president yesterday. I wish, I pray that heart may be restored and spoken again, contrary to what was now spoken today. Where the word of the king is, the Bible says there is power. He is the king. When he said, he looked behind and he said, Balekeni vana. Oh my God, my heart broke. And I didn't know what are we going to witness? And for a moment, it could have been so terrible. But when he said those words, it was clear. Ndiashi dia munganda. It wasn't a situation that required a heavy hand. He said it with his own mouth. Balekeni vana. With the same mouth. I was so heartbroken to hear the change in policy towards the very same situation that he is well aware of. That office is so sensitive in nature. And this is why it is not fitting for a head of state to speak prematurely. And I felt that his response yesterday was so spot on. It was so right. And I commended him for his response. But I don't know. I can only imagine, maybe due to internal politics and partyism and all of this stuff. Today there's labels and the statements completely changed, done a 180 degrees turn. And now they'll be dealt with. Now they can be crushed. No, remember that those children are hungry. Remember, the same way you look after your own children, even in their era, even in subscripting in the National Army under an alias name. Even in their personal struggles, they still remain your children. So it is with the Zambian people. No matter the errors, they remain abana bachalo, please. And my humble appeal would be that they be remembered as abana bachalo. abekalachalo abakwete amaka nensambu babunonshu bulefuma mumushidi obole sabikile ukwebathi nshiteyi bakese nshita yakwebathi nabena bakese yakho bakaunda barichingilile ubunonshi lesari bapele amano ayakuteke chalo. And often when he was asked, he would say, no, remember, we must leave something for the generations coming. This time around, it is almost as though there's a competition to make sure that even the last licks on the plate are licked up. Please, please. If there was a thing that must be broken, nichitini balandile bafaza nangu nakokola mkulande chichena tufwile fye twalwana chena ichakwe bati bamwisa bapanga umwakusungile empia umwakwe bati nangu twaingila mudya imwe naine tabatupele nangu ni account twafuma panshita pakwe bati tatwakwete namenshi yakunwa twafuma panshite yakwe bati nabakapokola bale irishanyo kwe bati nchito yena na ikosa bale tuwebo kutamfya abantu mumalandi namafamu yakwe bati bashikulu eba bapele kunuma kuchingola mwe bantu bakwalesa. Please, let us not be indifferent to the concerns and cries of the people of Zambia. Let us not be so comfortable that we are able to eat and forget the next person that perhaps doesn't even know where the next meal is going to come from. It is not right. It is not right. Jesus says it is not right for even the crumbs to be given to dogs. Please. There are systems that have been created that need to be destroyed, and we need to create new systems. Kamwaka sangepo mwine Africa, nangu mwine Ghana, nangu mwine nani, alete kamu bank ku UK. Go America, are you crazy? It can never happen that way. Why? Why would we allow such a thing? There were brilliant ideas spoken. Brilliant ideas. What happened? What happened? We say no. Let us
Bella,
return to the heart of the Father. Let us return to Ubuntu.
Yeah, you make very critical points, Bella, and I want to, some of the things that you've said, for me are very personal. My son, my oldest son, is going to university in a week, okay, in about 2 weeks' time, his first year. My daughter just wrote her grade 7, my second child. And it's dumbfounding. I mean, just to think of what kind of a country are we building that has no sense of future. We can't just get all the minerals, all the rights to everything in the nation and give them to foreigners. We don't hate foreigners. We're not being, xenophobic. But we love our own. Even the Bible says, love your neighbor as you love yourself. You first should love yourself to qualify to love a neighbor. But we seem to hate ourselves. We seem to hate ourselves so much that have you seen the culture in this country? Tupera respect, black, mupera san, musungu na attitude jachinja to abana nice number. We even want to act in a manner that is more civilized. But when a black person walks into the same room, why do we hate ourselves so much? Can God deliver us from that? I've seen Honorable has joined us, and Gladiator has eventually managed to get on board. Maybe greet everybody, Gladiator. Make a comment so that we can also bring in Honorable. Please unmute yourself as you speak. Unmute yourself. You're muted.
Yeah,
There you
I
go.
think you get me.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, greetings to all the people on the panel. It has been a pleasure to join you. I had a challenge in between my iPad, my laptop, my phone. Which one was going to work properly? Thank God my laptop kind of responded. So I joined a bit late because I was trying to figure out how join in. But I'm glad I'm here and I've followed the discussion. It's a good discussion. Yeah, so maybe at the right time I'll come in and make my submission. Yeah, I just wanted also to touch base on what topics were being discussed. And so far, I've been able to follow and picked what is on the table for discussion. Thank you.
I know you were asking about how many we are on the platform, so I'll just put everybody there so that you can see everyone. So we have myself, I'm sure you know me. We have Robert, I'm sure you know him. Father Pombo in the corner there. That is Chichi, our sister there, was just from speaking. And then we have Isabella Miller on the other side. Please unmute your microphone, Honorable, and greet everybody, and maybe you can go ahead with your contribution. You can come in, Honorable. Maybe just unmute your mic. I think maybe your mic. Just unmute your mic.
Okay. Thanks so much. I've seen now. It wasn't showing. I'm sure it was network. Today I've got a challenge of network. So I can see now the full screen. Hello.
Yes, we are listening.
We can hear Honorable, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm saying that I can able to see now the people because I'm sure you have brought the screen. So I can see even everything now, the full screen. This is wonderful, and I'm sure this will be a good platform.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable.
Yeah.
We have just heard. We have just seen the Honorable. We don't know. Is it possible to understand the Honorable?
Banda.
Banda?
The voice you
Yes.
can
Yeah, sorry,
Mhm.
sorry that
JJ Banda.
Honorable JJ.
Aibo, nimbewa isi nimbewa ngokuja mbewa ati honorable ati how are you jam honorable kasi mukuja mbewa imwe honorable.
Did you see that?
Okay, thank you.
Did you see the video of Father Oscar where he went to the mountain to pray? And then I was thinking, actually, did he go to prayer or is that no Sakira Mbela?
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you.
So maybe just to recap on what GAP is. GAP stands for Governance, Accountability, and Prosperity. So the idea of this podcast is to create a platform where people from different political parties and even those who don't belong to a political party can offer their views, as long as those views are not controversial in a manner that is outside decency. But policy issues, governance issues, issues of corruption and accountability, and so on and so on, and the issues of prosperity. Because I believe that Zambia has everything that it requires to prosper. Everything is here. The issue is how we have arranged the equation. You know, we put ourselves in a place where we shouldn't be in that equation. We need to see ourselves as the ones who are blessed, who have these resources, and who must speak for ourselves and position ourselves. And prosperity is possible for Zambia if we have the right thinking, if we have the right ideologies for governance, if you have the right plans and the right level of passion. The problem that I see in this country sometimes is even people who aspire for leadership they're not really fully inspired to really lead the nation to where it really needs to be. And those who are at some point, they seem to be threatened by, I don't know if global economics and people out there, and maybe IMF and World Bank and whoever has to give them rules of engagement, and they fought because they are afraid. As you can see, what has been happening in Burkina Faso, where that young president has taken very drastic steps to rebuild his nation. But the rhetoric that has been coming from the West has been, very much negative, against Burkina Faso. But when you see the images that we see from Burkina Faso, people are happy to have their leader, and we see the decisions that he's making, and increasing their gold reserves and protecting their own interests as a nation. Zambia can head in the same direction. We can own our own mines, we can buy our own gold and keep that gold as our own reserves and sell that gold as and when we need it. We can own our copper mines, maybe up to 85%. Why not? Okay. We can run our own tourism sector. As you may know, the tourism sector is basically not owned by Zambians. Zambians own the cheapest lodges. But when you talk about the lodges that are $3,000 per night, $1,000 per night, they are not owned by Zambians. Okay, so we can own the tourism sector, we can own the mining sector, we can do these things. We need to change. And I think on this platform, we should be able to bring not just the ideas, but bring the inspiration to get people to watch. What is good is that when we do podcasts like this, they stay online. So people will watch this 10 years from now, 20 years from now, even 30 years from now. I wrote a book last year or the previous year where I talked about how important it is to create content and how that content will live beyond you. So you should be mindful of the content that you create. And I think, this platform is going to have so many big people. Okay, Father Mpombo is here. You're already here, Father Mpombo. It's good to see you. It's really honored. Info yaba lungu ya tureta pamwe, Mpombo. Do you remember that it's actually the death of Along that brought us together? So powerful people here, Roba, Chichi, and Chichi, it's the first time I'm seeing you. I was trying to connect your face now.
I want to listen to Chichi because she's very aggressive on audio.
So, just connecting her face to the voice.
Chichi, give us.
Yesterday event, and I'm telling myself, I thought myself, what did I do?
She's a policy master.
I'm glad also to have seen Maroba Mungu's voice, but at least today I'm able to now say, okay. At least Brian, I see Bella, I know. I've seen her on, I think on, I don't know if that's the actual picture on a WhatsApp profile. So I'm just thinking it's her. Yeah, so it's good. You're able to see who's this. My father, Madintera Nation. So I'm here.
Gladiator. Nada mais vai te gladiator. Te comunica com o primeiro. Te comunica com o gladiator, sabe?
I'm just glad you're humble, my father. I'm very humble. As you can see, I'm very humble.
Kwali
Mm.
vana vamai varakwati vasangofati graduate vasangonati nenkanshishari yambo kumashana.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm a
Thank
very
you
humble
so
person.
much.
Thank you so
Bella,
much.
show
For,
yourself, Bella. Eh? Before
Ah,
I'm
we're
crushed
gonna
in
Bella.
the blankets.
Bella, show yourself.
you trust
I'm
Maleke.
in bed. I'm in blanket.
And that's Robin.
Mm. But in all fairness, it's our first program, and so far, like the issue with Chingola is so deep rooted, and it's not just Chingola because the frustrations, if the government thinks it's only in Chingola, then they don't know what they're thinking. It's a frustration in our country, and this is what happens when you, especially with cyber law. Without cyber law, people would have been speaking, and probably the president would have been more aware of what was happening. So I think when you bring cyber law, it can protect you to some extent. But then, because whatever they shock land. And then when you get there and then they react, and then you say, oh, Tamai Shiva. What I should when people are not talking, are not free to express themselves. So it's a lesson to all the leaders, not just the current leadership, but even the next crop of leaders, so that you have to listen to people. And also you talk to people nicely. If you can't do it, tell them you can't do it, but do it in a nice way. Because this government, if you remember about that issue, when they were saying that we've had heavy rains, but the water takes how many months to travel? Remember when
Anyway, I'm telling
yes,
you, it's better. It's better we don't remember. It's better we don't remember.
He said 3 months. I remember.
Philip Coffee.
I remember.
No,
said
I'm
three
telling
months.
you, it's better we don't remember. It's better we
How
don't
about
remember.
I'm going to remember? He said 3 months.
so it's
Yeah. What we
it's
have to
one of
deal with in this nation.
yes. So it's it's like even Angomongande, even your brothers or your siblings. If you do something, as long as you explain well, you will still have some credit in the bank. But no man go there social and you keep on telling them, talking to them, quite right, and others, and then you have that kind of reaction in the end. And I think what they need to do, even them, I think they need to organize a team to go there and find out, and not just there. They need to do a lot of research, because even the issue of what you said with power is, if you've got someone in hospital, especially in certain areas where maybe I don't know about UTH, but some of these small hospitals, um, if you're on life, maybe depending on oxygen, and then the power goes. You end up going to hospital and what do they call them? Those power thing, the mobile ones. Where you put petrol or something. What do you call them? Trust.
Generator.
Yes.
Generator.
Mariana generator
Genset.
hospital. Genset, because your family member is sick, or not quite a genset. So I think it sounds like a joke, but I think we need to wake up as a country, because here in the UK, your supplier, they've got 3 hours to make sure that the power is back. And if that power does not come back within that period, and people they are vulnerable, then they can sue you for compensation. Because you got people
Here
that
is
have
1 hour.
yeah,
Here in Italy is 1 hour.
1 hour.
Only 1
You
hour.
see. So it's
Yeah.
1 hour, and
Then I'll show you. It doesn't matter whether you're a prime minister, you're a president. I will show you for inconveniencing me. Yeah.
So it's one of those things where, like, now in Zambia, it's become like we don't even want to have electricity, because that 3 hours they were talking about, how do you even plan to do your business? So it's like for us, on my mother's farm, the work I will have to do. I've told you this trust before. He waters the plants at the farm around 20 or sometimes up to midnight. You know, but he's supposed to be sleeping at that time, not to be doing that. But that's the only time they have water, you know, because when the power comes back. So there's a lot of inconvenience that is happening in our country. And in the long run, it distorts people's mental well-being. Because now we can normalize, it's no TV, no radio. And, you know, if you don't have a job and you've just retired, what goes through your mind? You know, that's why we're losing a lot of our older people very quickly because they have nothing to do. TV or for radio, it keeps them busy. So it's not just an economical issue; it's also a mental health issue with this ZESCO, whether it's called load shedding. But we can do better as a country. Yeah. I think I submit. I think Chichi, you've not spoken. I know you a police guru. You know. Yeah.
Yeah, I think today I just wanted to listen. Really, I don't make any submissions. I'll speak today. I just wanted to sit in and listen. Unlikely of me, I'm sure you all admit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but to
No.
be
Yeah,
honest,
I think thank you. That's lovely. This program reminds me very well. It reminds me how we did with the TV back to reminds me that one, but I'm sure this is going to be different because we have our colleagues who are behind the screen who are so professional and they will do the right thing. How I wish we can speak to the Zambian people. All what we are explaining here, I think, to be in good faith. We are doing it in good faith. Even when we criticize the government, we do it in good faith because criticisms are essential in life. Asking our leaders for accountability is essential. It's part of governance. And so we feel we are part of government. I don't know what you're going to call us, a government in waiting, a government in opposition, a government in the diaspora. I don't know what you're going to call us. Any title is welcome, but I think we are responsible. We think we are responsible as well. When we see careless statements like the one of the energy minister, clap for me because I'm giving you 3 hours of electricity. I was mocking the Zambian people, mocking the intelligence of the Zambian people, and abuse, I call it abuse of power. That was an abuse of power. How should I clap for you, Honorable Minister, when you are giving our people 3 hours of electricity? Some of the Zambian people, they testify that time comes at 23 hours, midnight, and it goes out at 3 o'clock in the morning. Why should I clap for you? And then there are many other ministers. If you are coming to Lusaka to doze and sleep, please go back to your homelands. And Lusaka is not for people who can sleep. There are statements of somebody saying, no, there is nothing like day and night. In our government, there is only day. These are, I call them careless statements myself, because if God is the creator of the heaven and earth, if God is the creator, is the one who distinguished in the Genesis, in the third chapter of Genesis, he says, then the second day he divided between the night and day. If God has done that, I don't know. In a Christian nation, that's the basic. In a Christian nation, you find someone saying there is nothing like day and night. In a Christian nation, or you scrap off the the so-called Christian nation. Scrap it off. All you put in, don't feel ashamed. I want my country to go towards the Masons. We want to bring the Masons in our country. Don't feel ashamed. Come out and speak to the Zambian people. Your friends, Dr. Chiluba, Edgar Chagwalung, they've said it. Lupia Band, they've said it. We are a Christian nation and we respect. If you don't like it, come out with something that you're going to tell the Zambian people. This is what my Zambia wants to be. How many people complained? Don't remove Machen on the money. How many people complained? Don't remove Mposamawe on the money. It's part of our history. Myself, where I am, when they ask me, Bampombo, where do you come from? Atina Fumakulu. I don't say because I speak Italian, no, perché io parlo italiano, perché io parlo benissimo italiano, allora sto qui in Italia per tanti anni, quindi scusatemi, io parlo solo italiano. I am not an Italian. I speak Italian, yes. But I'm not an Italian.
Yes.
Inevo ndi mwina ngumbo. Kula mwevo mwebe na ngumbo msashana tao kwe nanga chachira mufefwe tutuma fyo akalumba to atuma rangu to atuma fye nwena inwena ya pangapo akana nika fufwevo fwewe na ngumbo twaba iyo. That's my history. Songa na bashimikira lero na lero nati bashimikia ati mbone uko kwaba kumyesu ni fifi ngawachira mofye kuku tumina fye akambuma ati akambuma finchi ati okay ukese kungumbo uira ndi kuchamuno ukese kungumbo ukesa kamona so nomba ine my roots. What are my roots? Ine na fyalwa kungumbo. That are my roots. Without kulanda pangumbo, I'm nothing. Mule umfwa mwema leaders mwa politicians. I'm nothing. Hey no. Alana isambira kwenye chisungu chawa bela. Yes, we can speak in even brilliant English. The British accent English.
Absolutely.
We can speak.
We will never be British.
We can take care. We can. With
Never.
the expression of the facial expression, the gestures, we can do that. But I am not a British.
Koko leni po.
Patikishati yo njebe yo jito yo uliso inebo jito inendi mwina ngumbo ale fitundu ndalanda ichi Greek, ichi Hebrew, ichi Chinese, ichi Italian, Spanish, ichi Sungu. Ni hao soma minze ichi Sungu elio ichi Sungu nombe china ngumbo ichi nyanja ichi kopala jazz tarasapu kapapu kopala
Don Oscar.
But if you are going to ask me, who are you? Inentampio kwende. Ati awe, inshiriana kuminwe, iminwe shadiba is very dirty. Can you give me a fork, please? Because this is Sheraton Hotel, 5-star Sheraton Hotel. Inenda na kuma no boss. Na abe batimpelu kwa mention sambeko. Sambeko. Why are you going to eat with your hands? Because that's my culture. Can you allow me? Ndabe push. Sir, can you allow me to use my hands? Then they say, go ahead. I wash my fingers. And I
Kopala.
Kopala jazi. Aka kokona ura soro na karia so filia so. Not that Focati, track. Fisendeni ifyo. That's your things. It's not mine. So, Vane, the roots. Going back to my roots. Hey, reggae music. Going back to our roots. My roots in the Winangumbo. That are my roots. That's why. So you, shut up. I know the president. You know the president. I'm a Zambian. What are you telling him? You know the president. Yeah, you know the president. That's your story. Batine nalishiba imfumu shesu. Ishalubemba. Imfumu shakungumba. Bashiti mukuru. Nani kani imfumu nani kani. Nala banokula. Anyway, that is it. Those are our roots. Without these roots, Mweba Pakopa Belt University of Zambia, you are nothing. Chimono kwebati, waisa babantu ati mputulenu kwa makasa. Ine pantuka ili kunumuru kunomba na alipenta na emishishi, mboneka fio musungu nomba, na alipanga na fi wigi, chiwigi chakwa naima, now be Campbell. Now Campbell. So nomba ifuri forward, now Campbell. So tuenda jati. Now in Campbell, you see, you look at me, you see me, I speak like that. Tafikwete nchito. Ifikwete nchito. Kufumoko nafuma kwisa, inevo nafuma kwisa. Kurakwile ku, nemuti nkepo bala mpele laba kungi pantu. Baile nje bati, chitundu nshulanda. Lekeni mishikile ukajikana nika story ya kasuma. Atitundu shimulanda atichivemba, atimuchivemba atipenda. Na atichimo fibili fitatu fine. Fisano mutanda. Nomba mutanda. Muchi italiani mutande chimono kweba chikaputura kamwana kashi. Mreumfu. So that's happened. Chimo fibili fitatu shani fine. Chisano mutanda. Atifishi mutanda. Natifishi. Atia kaputura kamwana kashinjibiri. Mutanda ni 6 if. Mwitiri muka. Anyway, fingi. Epo ninga mieva. Fingi. Epo tusanga. You become honored. They respect you because you keep your roots. Va PF, you will be respected because you keep your roots as PF. UPND, the people of Zambia will respect you because you keep your roots as UPND. Vaneva Simumba, the Zambian people will respect you if you keep the roots as MMD. Bakaunda, Bapanji Kaunda, people will respect you if you keep the roots as United Party for National UNIP, United Independence Party, United National Independence Party. Basata Imon, Basata people will respect you. Iwe nanikane Edgar Chagwalungu, the people have respected you because you kept your party, patriotic front. That's your respect. Nga wali pondoka kwati ni chavinga abantu nga wali kusula nomba Edgar nomo kaya lalo kalala no muchinshi pantu iwo wali sunge chipani wa ishile fuila pa chipani chovya ati patriotic front chipani chandi nangu kufwa na fuila pofye na aleka pantu na alanda sana kwe. Ay.
Yeah, good submissions, eh?
Good. You know what, my father? Sometimes you question: do we love our country as Zambians? Because if you see how in Europe, my father, we're in Europe, and we see what's happening. The British, they left Europe, look after themselves. Said we want to take charge of our policy and everything. And then Trump comes through. You saw his policies where he's trying to to reduce America helping outside there, and we Zambians, we're giving everything away. And what we need to do is, if you start giving away
For
the
free.
minerals and everything that you have as a country, then you're in problems. And I think the idea that we need to do, I think we need a new type of leadership that teaches us to love our country first. So, like, even if and that's what will fight corruption. If once you make people understand of that loving your country more benefits everyone in general. Even corruption is not going to be there, because the only way you fight corruption is if people learn to love their country and take responsibilities. But if people don't love their countries, they'll just do whatever they need to do. But I like that conversation, because even when remember Bella, when you said that you can buy land outside your country, but it will never feel like it's yours. It will never feel like home. But when you buy land in Zambia, there's just something. And I was telling someone, I was very jealous. When I looked at the picture of Makebi when he came from South Africa and stuff, and you saw the smile at that airport. It wasn't the smile that something had happened. It was the smile of being back home. And everyone that travels from outside Zambia, if you've been away for quite some time, the moment you land at that airport, it just fills you a different kind of love. The fresh air, the sun, and everything is there. And all you just do is smile, and you just feel free that I'm on my land. So I think we can do better to love our country and make decisions that are good for our country. So yeah, thank you so much for teaching me how to count up to number 6 in Italian. So,
So 7 is Chine, buddy.
so
8 is Chine consequence. 9 is Pabola. 10 is Ikumi.
yeah.
So I think, speaking of, my battery now is at 8%. As you know, as I said earlier, we are under load shedding right now. Yeah, so
10 minutes
it's been
below,
almost
close.
3 hours now. 3
Hello,
hours, and we've been talking layback. Mkwai?
10 minutes we look right now. We have exaggerated because it's a new experience. We are happy to say the truth.
Yeah.
Yes. It's as you can see, some comments there coming from people. We just want to say thank you for those who took time to watch and leave us some beautiful comments. That comment says powerful podcast to hear progressive issues from different views. That is someone by the name of Cynical7487. Another gentleman there, Dixon Kasoka, saying great people on this podcast. You have spoken. Plot one should listen. Please work. Time is ticking. Great show. Somebody's great show. That's Cargo Right Management. Someone Chulula Tembo says Riverside had no power since Friday. Can you believe that? This is Sunday. We're going into Monday now, and people don't have power. Says awesome program. People are following. Ilunga Mkendi, they are following. I think I know that gentleman. I think that was meant to say well spoken. Another one from Vanengi Mlangu Langu. She says, come to Solwezi. Residential houses are now a Chinese processing plants. Can you believe that? So a lot of comments. We'll be trying to read as many comments as possible. So those who will be watching us can literally participate through a comment, and we will flash the comments right on the screen there. For those of us who are co-hosts and guests, if you've got anything that you want people to pay attention to, maybe an article you want people to read, whatever you want to, something relevant that you want the public to be aware of or take advantage of or learn from, please let's use this platform to share that knowledge and share that information with people. It's very, very important so that we are a resource. You know, let's be a resource as a platform, and let's fill in the gap, as our name suggests. We fill in the gap. I know we are saying this is the first time, but this show is going to be this kind of laid back kind of show, where we allow people to speak, where we allow information to flow, where we allow emotion to build, because Zambians are emotional people. They need to feel something and they need to connect. But what we need to also remember is that when we speak like this, we're going now 3 hours. This show is going to stay on YouTube. It's going to stay on Facebook. And 5 years, 15 years, people can still watch this material. So let's come inspired to inspire, you know, before we expire. So let's come inspired to inspire before we expire. Even though we perspire, let's do it with so much passion. And I'm speaking to the choir here because I think all of us, and even at Sheriff, I think we are some of the most passionate people I've seen so far in the last 6 months. This is it. This is Gladiator, Bella. I mean, I think probably I've been in Pumia.
Namaru. Bakwin Pumi pa Sunday baratubika kuwaya. Sunday is
yeah, Sunday is it's family.
Yeah.
It's family.
It's a happy day. It's a happy day.
But in all fairness, I think this program we need all of us to make it grow. So this is our place where we could come and link. So I think in terms of the linkage, I think Trust will work out exactly for those of you that have Facebook pages, so that people can also watch on your Facebook page, you know, and they can also leave comments there, and then we can also see it here. So I think it's gonna grow. And the first, I think for the first one, it's very navy for me. I've never been this relaxed and stuff, but when I was talking, my wife even came and said like, "Why are you not relaxed?" I was like, "Am I not?" She's like, "No, you're not." relax. I was like, "Okay, all right, cool." So, but overall, I think it's always good. It's always good, especially like what I said. It felt safer. The moment you see Father Don Oscar, then you're like, "Yeah, I'm safe. I'm safe here." So, but it's good.
Actually, we have done 2 hours 17 minutes and counting.
Yeah.
So it's been beautiful. You know, I think this is what we need to bring: the passion, the relaxation. You know, just to make sure that even because I love the comments. I'm sure you've seen some of those comments I've thrown there. So let's keep it going. You know, it can stream on your YouTube as well. So Father Mpombo, Chichi, Bella, if you've got a YouTube channel or a Facebook channel, we can send it there as well, so that your followers can also, you know, follow through and enjoy the content. It's gonna grow. Rea Ikakawa. I know today we should have had EM and JJ. JJ just popped through and left.
Network,
he had a lot of internet issues today. So I think we'll get to a point where things are really settled.
So Changala was also supposed to be with us today. So hopefully it will get interesting. Tukenda na pama kasa pons. Tukenda. That Changala today. Oh, Talasha, you know. But not a long distance. but it's going to be interesting. It's going to grow, but above all, I think we do it for our country with love.
Yeah, but you know, the best thing of this program is any program where you have multiple ideas
is always positive. Always. Just like if I can make a comparative, what the PF are trying to do, hopefully that the government are going to allow them to do, the PF allowing their candidates to come out and contest. And that is what we call democracy. Democracy is the freedom of expression, the freedoms to express whatever type of freedoms you need. So even to go for the candidature of their preferred presidential candidate, them allowing all these names, if I'm not mistaken, something like close to 9 names are already come on platform. This is healthy. It's healthy, and that's democracy. If some of my friends in the UPND, they say, no, we just have one candidate, Hakainde Chilema. It's a question of a choice. If UPND, they cannot allow multiple candidates to compete, that's their choice. I respect it, but it's not my preferred choice. I prefer contestation. I prefer dialogue. I prefer competition, so that we can come now. They can come and we allow the people also to choose and select who they think is the best of the many candidates. So the basic on this point was, I hope the government is going to allow the PF freely to go and choose their candidate. This is democracy. This is a Zambian Christian nation. The second appeal, if I can be allowed to make it, I'm making an appeal to all the constituencies in Zambia. Naranda Muchibemba, Okinango, Agenda Mitsungu, Muchibemba Pano. I think the voter registration, if the government is not going to listen to the request of many stakeholders to extend the voter registration and the verification of the national registration cards further than 11th of November, if I'm not mistaken. I think the last day might be 11th of November. I am appealing this night, the first night in this podcast, to President Hakainde Chilema. Your Excellency, listen to the people. The information which is coming to us is this: Northern Province, Eastern Province, Muchinga Province, Lusaka Province, some parts of Lusaka, not all of it, some parts of Lusaka Province, and some parts of Central Province. People are complaining that they are being denied the possibility to register. There are problems that officials are facing. So my appeal, extend the voter registration process to allow all the Zambian people to register. Why do I say extend, please? Is because people are facing the challenges of not having enough electricity at home. Hence, they run away to go and find some alternative for them to bring Nshima or Kapenta on a table. So if a family has nothing to eat in the house, they go and search somewhere. It's not easy for them
to go on the register in 2 weeks, in 1 week, or in 3 weeks. Give them time. President Hakainde Hichilema, this is my serious appeal to you. Listen to the people in the northern, eastern province, central province, Mochinga province, and part of Lusaka province. I don't know, because Copperbelt, they're saying that the work has been done is a very good job. Southern province, they're saying that the job has been done is a very good job. Western province, they're saying that the job is well done. So we appreciate in Southern province, the job is well done. Western province, the job is well done. In Copperbelt province, the job is well done. So we are asking the same possibility, because we are one Zambia, one nation. Allow your excellency for the other provinces to have the same opportunity. Allow the people to go and register. Thank you very much.
You're on mute, Trust. You're on mute.
Closing remarks before you just see that my lights go out. 'Cause I'm pretty
Closing
close.
remarks.
Yeah, we can do our closing remarks. Maybe let's start with since Bella Tature Kumona, let's start with you, and then we come backwards. We come to Chichi.
Oh, you've got
And
wit
then
tonight.
Eddie?
My closing remarks, apart from Brian's wit, would be that we must insist on continuing to be one Zambia. We are our brother's keepers. We are a loving nation. We are a peaceful nation, a nation that believes in the power to communicate and understand one another. I think we had Don Oscar at one point talking about field mice, for all those that don't know what Mbewa are. And this has been our culture. We've been this kind of people. Today we have people talking about jailing people who would throw powder as a symbol of what we call in Zambia impemba. Why would you do that? Why would you even suggest that? We say no to all of those things. We say no to divisions. We say no to violence. We say no to anything that symbolizes the destruction of systems that have been in place to bring this Zambia together. And I believe we have the technical expertise all over the world who are able to contribute so positively given the opportunity. And I believe that GAP will provide a platform that will allow people to express the positive ideas and approaches and reforms that can be implemented, post elections. Thank you once again for this great initiative, and we're blessed, sincerely. Thank you.
Even in the concluding remarks, I would just say thank you for allowing me to join you and listen. And I'm very happy. At least we've kickstarted this program of ours, and I look forward to the next conversation. I don't know when you plan for us to have the next one. So I just look forward to the next meeting. Yeah. So thank you very much, and good job. You did a good job, all of you on the panel, because I listened to your submissions. Yeah, so it's a good program. Let's keep fighting for independence 2.0. Thank you.
So we did well, Tamatara Sama with it.
Careful.
Hello, there, Alfredi. That's enough. That's enough. Lero ndi mwana
Wanji.
musoma. Lero ndi mwana musoma.
Awe mwana mutima lero.
Oh, Mandy, and good night, everybody. Thank you, Brian. You know, I'm sure Queen Pumi might join us whenever we have the next program and all that. Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Right, because I know the father speaks last with a blessing. So I think for me, I'm just super, super, super happy because it's one of those things where like we didn't know what time, whether it was going to. We wanted to start yesterday, but then of course a lot of things were happening yesterday. But I just can't wait to see how the program will evolve because there's the team has a lot of people behind it and a lot of people that are trying to contribute. Because for some time we've been saying the opposition needs to come together, but we need to have one platform where there's that unity of one voice of a better Zambia. And I think what we need now is to help people start loving our country more, even our politicians. When you go to parliament, your decision should be about the country first. About that young child that needs the medication. You know, So today was a very sad story. There's a musician in Zambia. God, I keep on forgetting his name, but he lost his 1-year-old child in Chawama at some clinic. He's a very famous musician. I've forgotten his name. Alikatoko to Alembasana. What? It's
Mozegeta.
not Mozegeta, but he sings like Dandy Crazy, but Enalan Emba Fisha Muchinyanja. So what's his
No, I don't know.
1 second, let me just check. So it was a very sad
MC
story.
Wapuma.
No. Is not MC Wabuna. 1 second. I saw it on Facebook. There was a 1-year-old. So I couldn't. Yeah, not. What's that by? I forgot. Sorry.
Michael.
He's got his.
It's not Feligo.
No. He's Aditama kwati arerapa kwa muchinyanja. So angaimba if I feeling like very loud, but then like that type of rap. I think you know him. I like to die to me Shishi and all that. He's been quiet for some time, but he lost the daughter. And when you read the story, the circumstances, you think as a country we can do a lot better. And that's why this podcast is going to be very important. So the simple things to try to speak up, and try to fill in the gaps in terms of governance, accountability, and prosperity in our country. That the country will only start functioning when all the people in the country start contributing. The issue with load shedding that stops people from contributing to the economy. So, but it's I'm very happy. It's gone very well. But considering it's the first one, I think the second one will even be a lot better. Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome. I think I'm happy. I'm very happy with the show. The contributions have been immersive. I can't complain. I can't fault anything really. Some of these things, the most important thing is to start. If you don't start, you can't progress. So we've started, but we started on a good note. We had the right people on the podcast. No regrets there. Actually, only gratitude there because we had the right people. And we could even forget that we had Martin Smwaba and we had Honorable Popti for a little bit. And Martin was also very, very passionate about Chingola and what he believes in and so on and so forth. So again, for me, it's just to say thank you so much. Everybody, thank you, Father Mpombo, for coming through. Much respect to you, sir. Thank you, Robam, for making it happen. Actually, I mean, I had a very tough day today. I spent the whole day at the secretariat, and then we witnessed, we were given Luinda filing, and then after that, without notice, we heard that Katoto was also filing, so we witnessed a bit of that as well. And where I stay and secretariat is quite a distance. By the time I was getting home, I was exhausted. But it was because of you, Robert, obviously, because you kept asking, so I gained that energy back, and we were able to start and go through with it. Bella, of course, I mean, Bella is the energy often there in the background that we know you don't want to show your face, but we are very content with your voice, trust me, because and also walanda things for twice but ya pass yeah ikala eko para yera pada batatu
Achala n'ekirungu kwatali embeba
batali hapo ni mbewo omuntu aladabusha abantu aho. But ishumuntu ni yaine feri ya pada bachana tuko para jazz it's beautiful, and obviously Chichi there. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Let's make this work. I'm very excited. We'll do all that we can in trying to brand it, make it function in a very professional manner, and so on and so forth. I've noticed one of the glitches that we've had today is internet. So probably I'll try and research if there's a way this application can work in such a way that it helps us have less problems with internet. Otherwise, everything was beautiful. Thank you so much. Father Mpombo, you have to close. Unfortunately, you have to be the last one to speak. Or is it fortunately? But speak, and please, if you can, please say a prayer for us, and then we can retire for the weekend. We'll come up with a new day that we will do episodes 2. So this has been episode 1 of the Gap podcast. Thank you very much, Father Mpombo. Over to you.
Both the things, fortunate and unfortunate, because sometimes the priests they exaggerate in the way they do things, so that is unfortunate. Fortunate because we are also our responsibility to be the servant of the people. We serve the people. We serve all of them. As a Catholic, especially, we open our doors to everyone, a religious, not religious, atheist, or Christian or not Christian. They are all open. We are open to have a dialogue to everyone. And that's why I come on the platform sometimes. Before it was my elder father, who was Bishop Mpundo, Bishop Mpundo, an honorable person indeed. In Zambia, he has contributed a lot, and after the old age, he's an old man now. He cannot speak, he cannot contribute. So some of us now we try to be like a young people who have seen his footsteps, and we are following in his footsteps. So that's why we participate. At the moment, I'm happy that I was invited to this podcast. Of people who love our country. That's the basic. People who love our country. We want our country, Zambia, to be independent. Not an independence which they left us in 1964, which was just by word. But we want an independence where our indigenous Zambian citizens can hold now the key business positions, authorities, and industries with Zambian citizens. That's where we are fighting. We thought Haka Indechilema was going to do this, and we have seen that I think nothing has changed. So we are now praying. We are here. We are going to fight. We will participate until we find a person who is going to respond to our request. We needed someone who can put the Zambians first, the plight and the dignities of the Zambians first. I conclude by giving you my gift, the best gift that I can give to you, my colleagues, my friends, the people who have been listening to this platform. I conclude with a prayer, and then the responsible is going to say a last word. Let us pray. We thank you, Reverend Father. We thank you in this beautiful day, a Sunday. The Sunday is the day of the resurrection of your Son, Jesus Christ, from the dead. We realize the nobility of being part of the Christian faithful, who recognize that the resurrection of our Lord Jesus Christ has brought us wisdom, happiness, and trust. We entrust in you, Heavenly Father, our leaders, our brothers and sisters who fight, who participate, and contribute in the national matters, so that they can put at the center of their arguments the Zambian people. All this we pray through Jesus Christ, your Son, who lives and reigns with the Holy Spirit, one God, forever and ever. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you very
Believe
much.
it or not, my battery has now run out. So I can actually access my other screen.
Okay. All right. Good night. All right.
Well
Trust.
done.
When you,
Good night, everyone.
when you,
How are you doing?
Okay. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. I think we'll catch up later. Good night, everybody.
I finally managed to get the screen. Oh my God. All right. Good night.
Okay. Oh, good night.
Good
Good
night.
night.
We'll see you. Bye.